The bounty hunters. A child. Enemy. Pain. Wounded. Kill. Destroy. The renting of the Gestalt is cut off by a blast of gunfire as something blurs past Slyther too fast to be perceived. The Gestalt screams as the bullet crashes into one of its faces and another suddenly has a massive gouge through it. It screams from one of its faces, which is suddenly pulped, and for just a moment the rapid movement stops. But all that's revealed is a thin fog and nothing else. "Get him out of here! This bitch is getting broken!" Pukey orders, and Slyther feels armored hands on him. "We got you, little buddy. Time for evac," the hat says as Slyther has strange cloth cover him and finds himself bodily carried. "But what about Dad? I'd be more afraid for the monster than him," Mr. T remarks as Slyther is carried at a dead sprint through the building when they're not outright dropping through doorframes. "Besides, only half of us are with you. He's got fire support." "What?" Slyther begins to ask when the concussive bang of an anti-material rifle sounds out, and there's further screams. "Snipers and demo." "Yeah, he's fine." "It's not," Dong says. There is a scream and energy rushes through the building. A deep groaning noise and a crack. "Back up! The building's being torn in half!" the hat exclaims before light rushes into the area courtesy of the chunk of building. Therein being ripped away from the rest. In seconds, they can see the dying engines of the monster sputter and fail before the halved abomination falls to the desert sands below. "Shit! Hope they got out alive." "Air Force, we need pickup about 10 minutes ago. What kind of time can you give us?" 8 of 15, he says. "Those better be seconds." "Yep," Air Force replies. Another scream cuts through the air, and the house cracks and starts to fall apart. "Fuck me! Time to move," the hat orders. "Scaly, we're taking back our cloaks. It'll leave you visible, but they're needed." "Take 'em now, these things freak me out," Slyther says, and the sensation of wrappings are pulled away. He knows they're right with him, but can't see them at all. "This is so freaky." "Sorry, little buddy. This anti-adept armor is pretty damn thorough," the hat says as there's a sensation of movement close and the sounds of cloth over metal. But nothing he can see or sense in the axiom. They're just not there. "Well, if it's keeping Dad alive, I have no room to complain," Slyther says, before another energy wave blasts out, and he senses the axiom invert. "What the fuck?" "Get out of there now!" Weaver screams over the comms. The axiom shifts and twists and turns into liquid lightning as it races towards a central point. "It should have gone to null by now. Why isn't it null?" The world turns white. "Men, report!" Pukey barks into his comm. "Sir, we're a distance away. We're fine, but we can see you and that thing, it's enormous," Tang says. "I can't see past the white energy. Upload coordinates to the chainbreaker. Give it the rods from God. Pukey, it's literally got you in its fist." "Upload coordinates," he orders. "Sir, this thing's very nature is killing our targeting equipment." "Chainbreaker, this is Captain Schmidt. I am in the grip of a hostile force. Use my positioning to aim the railguns. I want this thing's back broken by a tri-tight telephone pole." His tone deadens into a complete seriousness as his everything starts working in overdrive. "Are you sure?" Slyther asks. "Not the time for questions, Slyther. Time for action. Target my position with the rail cannons. I'll make sure this thing doesn't dodge. It touched my boy. I don't care how powerful it is. It's dead," Pukey assures as he finds the crease in the thing's palm. As he suspected, she's basing this energy state off her physical one, and the sheer mechanics of a body means there are gaps in the grip. The creature is so huge he's a grain of sand next to it. Good. That just means it'll be easier to hit from orbit. He climbs out to find himself on top of a clenched fist. The thing is actively creating an axiom ride framework for its body out of sheer axiom. Likely how it's avoiding the null, it's catalyzing the axiom too fast for it to reach critical mass, even as it draws it in at dangerous speeds. "I can feel you on my hand, but I cannot see you, little monster." The Gestalt screams before suddenly moving and trying to clap its hands. He leaps away and uses his cloak to glide. The sheer heat being spread by the monster causes a powerful thermal, and he rises instead of falls. The actual clapping of the hands sounds like artillery firing. He was in the right hand, which had an almost human shape to it, but the left only has 3 digits. He wonders what it means, but ultimately dismisses it as an unimportant detail. He'll ponder later. "Where did you go, little monster?" the unified and furious voice of the Gestalt demands. Whatever disunity they had before has been washed away by the pain he brought it. Shit, well, it's not like he won't be doing that again. Even if it never works out tactically, he will always protect his family. "Your disguise is not perfect. You still cast a shadow," the thing says as massive beams of light start to pour out of its 3 eyes. "I will find you. I will rip your very atoms apart." "Bring it," Pukey notes under his breath as he lets himself drop a bit to dodge the searchlight of doom that the creature is sweeping around. "We have your positioning. That thing is sending out intense scrambler waves to all equipment. We can only target your direct location." "All right, then." "What's the chainbreaker's position relative to myself?" Pukey asks as he gets some more height. "This way," Slyther says, and his helmet screen shows an indicator to where the chainbreaker is. He turns his head and nods. "Got it. I'll tell you when to fire. Keep those cannons on me." Pukey orders. "Are you?" "Yes, I'm sure. This thing dies. Today," Pukey says as he shifts around and glides towards the monster. There's a few moments as he draws close and then gives the order. "Fire! Rods away!" Slyther warns him, and he drops before catching the air again even as the thing turns to try and spot him. He can't dodge in time and the beams sweep over him. The 3-clawed hand grabs him out of the air and starts to hold up himwards. "You will be!" The Gestalt begins to scream before suddenly moving to try and stop the attack from the chainbreaker, and it slams into her through her shield and sends her flying backwards and into the sands with a scream. There is still enormous electrical power and white light where the thing has been driven into the ground, and he swoops after it. It's not dead, but hopefully vulnerable enough for bullets or knife work to finish. He lands on the top of a dune and immediately has to dodge the remains of the rail shot hurled at him like a Scottish caber. "Why?" the unified being demands. It has a fully bipedal shape now and is slowly forming wings. It's made of electricity, but it's outlined by axiom rides slowly shifting and seemingly contained by it. "Why? You've eaten entire communities and ask why? We didn't deserve this." "No, you didn't. When you were sent to this world, you were innocent in the wronged party." "Then why?" "You've killed thousands who've never once even thought to hurt you. You've shattered families and destroyed entire lives." "Needed, Lev. People live entire lives without doing even a single horror, and you have committed many," Pukey says as he walks up to the monster and brings up his rifle. The closer he is, the less chance that any kind of shield will work. "I don't deserve this," she says as he levels his gun at their combined head. "You earned this centuries ago." He replies and opens fire. The first bullets disrupt the Axiom construct's head and breaks the Axiom ride, framing it as the entity staggers back. Then the bullets start crashing into solid air. The left hand comes up and a beam of electrical power screams out, and Pukey dashes to the side to dodge the sheer death that's being ripped around as he closes in. The right hand sweeps out and slams a wave of pure energy into Pukey, but his armor deflects so much of it, he barely loses a step. He rams through the shield and forces his gun between the Axiom ride and opens fire as he draws his knife. The arms of the entity flails and he avoids a stomp as he empties the clip into the thing to disrupt its Axiom further, and it dulls just enough he can see something in the midst of all the Axiom light. As it turns to slam down fistful of lightning, his knife slams through the Axiom and into the central core of the monster. A shockwave blasts out as it screams and staggers. "We just wanted to see our families," it gasps out as it falls to the sands. "Then go to them. There is life beyond, but you may need to work your way through some punishment to find them." "Have we not been punished enough?" it begs. "That's not for me to decide. Go to them. There is more. Do not be afraid," Pukey says as the last of the energy fades and reveals that his knife is buried in a knotty and wooden amalgam of all 3 heads vaguely shaped like a heart. It's not moving. You work fast, Weaver says from atop a nearby dune. I came with all speed and it's already dead. Is it? Can you confirm that the axiom has dissipated? It's dead. The axiom is fading. She confirms and he breathes a sigh of relief. I can only see your footprints in shadow. I'm looking right at you and I know where you are. But you can't be seen. That's the idea, coupled with how axiom just flows off this armor, and it's our best anti-adept answer beyond throwing a stronger adept at them, Pukey says, before sighing and pulling his knife out of the core of the Gestalt, before cleaning and sheathing it. He then picks up the head and holds it out to her. If they had a planet that all three, or even two of them called home before they were banished here, then bury this there. Why? It's caused immense damage, threatened your own child, nearly killed you time after time. Because we're better than that. Because whoever or whatever they were before, they weren't born monsters. They were people once, people that were wronged by yours. A small act of contrition can go a long way to healing old wounds. I have no idea what to think of you, Weaver says as she takes the remains of the Gestalt. You have shattered my every expectation over and over again until I simply cannot presume a single thing about you. In a good way, I hope, Pukey says as he unlatches and then removes his helmet. Yes, because I wanted to see a floating head in the middle of a war zone, Weaver notes. Sorry, the armor is very effective stuff, and... Dad! Slytherin calls out as Airfar swoops in with the landing craft and the rest of the team behind him. Hey, you got out clean, I see. Good, Pukey says even as Slytherin rushes out of the vehicle and slithers up at a lightning-fast pace to slam into him with a hug. Oof! Careful, little buddy. I'm in armor. You can hurt yourself. That was insane. Oh, come on. I've done crazier. You've seen it. Still insane. Yeah, 7 out of 10 on the weird shit-o-meter, the hat asks walking up. 7.5, we all heard that oh-so-touching speech at the end. Airfarce adds in as he walks up with a cocky swagger and a devil-may-care grin. Am I seriously about to get shit for talking an enemy out of a last-second Hail Mary attack? So you don't believe in the afterlife? Weaver asked, deducing the meaning of the phrase from the context. I have no damn clue, but I know that one soldier has seen the other side and they're convinced. I'm not, but I'm on the other side of the galaxy from him, so he can't exactly show it to me. Whom? Weaver asks. The only primal undaunted, Emperor Emmanuel Skitterway of Lacron, the first Earthany primal. Right. Would it be possible to secure a communication with him? His announcement to the galaxy some time ago left a great deal unsaid, and many people of the Empire would like some reassurance from their new god. Oh, I'll bet he'll be pleased to hear that, Pukey says with a grin. I'll do what I can, but only after we get our cleanup efforts underway. I don't think leaving either a gigantic biomonster melded with a warship in the Axiom ride that once made up a Gestalt body in one piece is wise. The sooner we have all this dealt with, the better.